This week we have Tom Altemus, who currently lives in Tucson, Arizona. Prior to that, he lived in Illinois. He has started PBP 4 times. His first was in 1987, a different millennium, and his most recent was 2023. Thanks for volunteering, Tom. I really appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Cool.
I hope I do well.
You're gonna be fine. You're already better than most of the people I've talked
Yeah,
to, so
yeah.
it's fine. Okay. All right. So I'm going to start with my usual one. What does PBP mean to you? And I know that's a very open-ended question for someone who's been there 4 times.
Yeah, and it's been a while too. So yeah, I've been there. Well, first time was 1987. So I was young and I was just looking for an adventure. It was a vacation, to France and I happened to ride bicycles and I rode them well and bicycles were really hitting the news then with all the big events, Tour de France and the race across America, Great America Bike Race. I can go on and on.
Yeah.
But so yeah, it was an adventure. I don't travel much. In fact, only even to this day, I've only been outside of the country 4 times, and all 4 times it's been PBP. Yeah. So this
That's
is
cool.
this is really a great
Yeah. Well,
adventure.
well, well, I think if you're going to travel outside the country, doing PBP is probably a pretty good reason.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Great. Tell me then, um, what did that first finish line feel like? Do you remember in 1987?
19, so yeah, 40 years ago, it was so it was I was thrilled to get it done and it was a difficult ride with all the weather conditions and not knowing anything about the ride before going there and just so relieved. I guess I was relieved that it was nothing at no showstoppers and
Yeah.
and so I was thrilled and I mean it just seems like now it's still amazing that I did that and it was different back then in
Definitely.
'87.
Yeah.
A very more French event than
Yeah.
now. It's more international now.
So true. Maybe this is a good time to say it. I should have said it earlier, but I'm meeting you now because I spoke to Alan Nevin before this, who rode with you the last few miles, him and his buddy Declan, and you guys all hung out, but you'd lost touch or you didn't know who you were. You saw that video and then you reached out to him. So that's kind of cool,
Yeah, yeah. Mostly I wanted to tell him my name's not Bob, it's
huh?
Tom.
Okay.
Somehow
Well,
he thought
okay.
I was Tom, I was Bob, but that's
Yeah.
okay. My father's name was Bob, so I'll take it.
It's true. I
Yeah.
think everyone is a little bit delirious towards the end of PBP anyway. I'm
Yeah.
surprised he remembered you were male, so that's good. All right. All right. Why don't we go back? Let's go back to the start. Tell me about your background in cycling. What is your earliest memory on a bike, etc.?
Yes. Well, so yeah, gosh, in 1965, I would have had my first bicycle and with training wheels, and so that's a bicycle, not a trike.
Yeah,
And
okay.
so yeah, I was like 7 years old, and I don't really remember that much about it. Um, I remember more about because that was a regular bicycle, but I remember more about getting the cool Swin Stingray,
Uh-huh.
like a
Yeah,
few years later,
yeah,
and doing wheelies and you know dirt path riding and so that was more like 69, 70, yeah, and
yeah,
so but it was all about just having fun and riding down the sidewalks, down to the ice cream shop, and yeah,
yeah, yeah.
fun.
It's funny. I always find it interesting bike culture in America. I'm obviously not from America, but I think there was certain key events back in the day. Sorry, not Breaking Bad, Breaking Away was
Yeah,
1979. Okay. Do you remember when that movie came out? You were maybe, was it 15 or something?
I definitely remember when it came out, and yeah, so 79, yeah, uh, or 89 was it? See,
Yeah, I mean, I
yeah,
know I wrote it down. I think it's
yeah.
79. That does seem
Okay.
early though.
No, you're
Anyway,
right. You're
whatever.
right.
Yeah.
70, yeah, 79. Okay. Yeah, so I would have
Yeah.
been 21 or something like that
Okay.
in college, and I remember that just because I thought it was really cool, the races there in, I think it was Indiana, I think it was Italians came in, and it's just a great ending, and a great family film too.
Yeah.
So yeah, that got me interested in racing. I had been running racing. I was a runner back then. And around 1980, 81, I switched into bicycling. Yeah,
Yeah. I get you.
yeah.
And I think you sent me some excellent notes, by the way, so thank you. Had you like I would imagine riding bikes back then, this is in your late teens, early 20s. It was kind of very much a subculture. Like most Americans probably played football and things like that. Was it different being a cyclist?
Definitely. Well, so where I lived, so I first I lived like in Woodstock, Illinois, a little town. I don't think anybody really did much bicycling there, except
Yeah.
about 15, 20 miles over, there was this guy, Lon Haldeman, who,
Yes.
he's riding across the country, and his wife too.
Yeah.
But then also I lived in Wisconsin where I went to college, and I lived in Lake Geneva, and but yeah, nobody really bicycled there much, and every now and then I'd run into somebody riding. Uh, and there was once I actually ran into Lon Haldeman around Lake Geneva,
Yeah.
and I thought, oh, that's that guy, that
Wow.
rides
Yeah.
across the country. But no, it was pretty much me and the club I joined. Clubs, are really the best way to really get to know a sport
Yeah.
and learn some things. And so I joined a club closer to Milwaukee, and eventually a club in Madison, Wisconsin, and so y- um, so the, I always kind of was by myself, but at the races you'd join up with
I
your
get you.
your teammates. Yeah,
Yeah. And is the reason you ride now the same? Like, first of all, how did it make you feel back then? I'm sure maybe it's a little bit different from how it makes you feel now.
yeah. Well, now it's more about health, and there's a lot of the social thing. Tucson's a really bicycle friendly town, and so I've gotten, you get to know a lot of people bicycling here, but just the feeling of how simple it is. Not as simple as running, but bicycling. You just hop on a bike with the helmet and cleats, and you can go riding, down the road. Find the safe roads, and watch out for the deer. I hit a deer once, but
Okay.
so
Yeah.
everything's good until you hit that deer. But
Okay.
anyway, it's just a fun thing to get out the door and go do a workout, and maybe plan some events like PBP is
Yeah.
such a big event. It
Sure.
does take a while to plan it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just back again, because the span that you've cycled a bike is fascinating to me. It's a long time, right? When
yeah,
you first rode your bike like competitively, it still was very much, again, that subculture. Now,
yeah,
today, perhaps in Arizona, you see cyclists everywhere. Is that
yeah.
correct?
You
Has
do.
that changed? Yeah.
Oh yeah, well yeah. There's a lot of cyclists here.
Yeah.
I think even back in my old home stomping grounds, there's more cyclists. The bicycle
Yeah.
shops. are places to gather
Yeah.
to get together, and so it's definitely more a thing now, but especially in Tucson, I think that's a big reason why I moved to Tucson, uh,
Yeah.
was the cycling here.
I can
Yeah,
imagine. Cool.
yeah.
Let's get back specifically then to PBP. Do you remember the first time you heard those three letters, Paris, Brest, Paris?
Yes, and let's see, it was early '84.
Yeah.
Um, Reading Bicycling magazine, and it was there an article about again Lon Haldeman and Susan Notarangelo and them doing the 1983 PBP,
Wow.
and the way it was written, uh, it seemed very welcoming to like other riders, so and so I what I got out of that was that looks like a neat event. Um, I'm going to put it on my calendar because it would be in '87 then, 3 years later. And then I just happened to be in the right area of Northern Illinois where they had lots of brevets.
Yeah.
It was so Chicago area. Um, there were at that time quite a few riders,
Yeah.
who eventually went to 80, 87. And yeah, that's when I heard 84. And then, it takes a year or two to plan for that. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
And like back then, you had never been outside the country, isn't that
yeah,
right? So
yeah,
not only was it this massive distance, but it was this completely different culture that you were going to
yeah,
visit. No
yeah.
internet, no anything. It's amazing, isn't
No,
it?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No internet. Everything was in French.
Yeah.
The information, the sign up sheet, and fortunately, this back then we had this group called the International Randonneurs, and there was some some members there that really pushed this PvP event, and so it was just easy, someone like me who had no idea what to do, uh, how to fill out forms and do this, and so there was I think we had 200 some riders go from the USA, and I
Yeah.
think we were the largest non-French group. The
Yeah.
UK was a close third, and then all the other countries dropped off
Yeah.
quite a bit. So yeah, we had a big, and it might have been just from that '83, '84
Yeah.
bicy bicycling article from Lon.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And the fact that you read the article, you
yeah,
happen to be living in the right part of the country that
yeah,
made it somewhat easy for you to get there, and qualify.
yeah, yeah.
Completely.
We
Yeah.
we in fact they even had a group. Um, I don't know if you could say we chartered the 747, but
Mm.
it was a big plane, a big ass plane,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
but we had I think at least 100 cyclists
Wow.
on this plane flying from Chicago to um, Charles de Gaulle,
Yeah.
and it was almost like a party on the plane.
Wow.
It was
Wow.
just it was great. Yeah,
Yeah, like I can imagine that. So on this
yeah,
plane, everyone with one kind of goal in mind, all right?
yeah, yeah,
Pre-internet again, so it's very much there's not as many connections, or
yeah,
the unknown, I suppose, or whatever. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Do you remember what your strategy was going into that very first one? Did you have a strategy?
Not all that pretty simple.
Yeah,
I, I joined, I entered, again, they had like three groups. And so I entered the 78-hour group. And that was the fast group. And they were
yeah,
also the last group to leave. Um,
yeah,
and I just, because I had been doing some 24-hour races and 500-mile races, not that many, but enough to know I was pretty serious. So I entered this faster group, and basically I was just gonna just try and hang on with this, the 200 group pack. And I was
Yeah.
pretty comfortable then with pack riding. And um, so uh, also I sort of knew Scott Dixon. He's the guy who eventually won. And I just said, well, I'm going to be hanging on, Scott, in the back. And uh, and he didn't. I'm sure he probably had everything figured out. He
Yeah.
was gonna win in his head. He was gonna win no matter what, whatever it takes, and he
Yeah.
did. The fastest time, I believe, um, and then um, so for me, it was just go, 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 go. Find food along the way.
Yeah.
Don't even sleep. And catch up with the other groups because that's where
Yeah.
all my other USA people would be, and
Yeah.
wave.
I get you.
So yeah,
Why don't we, because you've got four different visits, right? So what we'll
yeah,
do is I'm going to ask you each one, okay, the actual event, and maybe we'll talk about some highlights because I know I've got lots of questions. So that very
yeah,
first one,
yeah,
by the way, you finished that in 68 hours and 56 minutes, which is very fast.
yeah,
Do you remember the start line of that very first one?
yeah. And so that was they started in Paris, on the
Wow.
edge of Paris, yeah,
Yeah.
and that's where the dorms were, also where we stayed, and it was just like a big like high school campus, I would call it. I don't, maybe it was college. I don't
Yeah.
know, but lots of people, um, and even though the mass starts earlier, there was even bigger groups, long lines. My group was just 200 people,
Yeah.
riders, and they were all like racer types, all in their race, you
Yeah.
know, let's do this.
Yeah.
And I will say when they said go, it
Yeah.
was
Yes.
crazy. It
I
was
can
like
imagine.
it was like a race for the money,
And
Uh,
did you say that the fast group started last? So
yeah.
you raced them through the bulk of all the other cyclists. Is that
We
right?
did. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. That's
Yeah.
crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But again, it was just 200 people. Now the other thing too, it was raining. It
Oh,
rained like
yeah.
from the start. It rained a whole lot,
Yeah.
and so that kind of broke up the the group, and
Yeah.
people got flat. I got a flat tire within the first 20 miles.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm riding these sew ups, tubular
Yeah.
tires, and so that was kind of demoralizing because there was no draft after that. You get
Yeah.
flat, and it's like you got to chase, and I didn't know where I was. Um, it was a bad spot, but I
Okay.
thought I'm gonna just keep going, and
Yeah.
hopefully I can catch up to some people.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Do you remember that was it sounded like because it was 1987.
Yeah.
Mostly French people. Then
Yeah.
there was some Americans and maybe some UK people.
Yes.
Was it very kind of nationality based? Did people just hang out with each other, or was there much conversation between all the groups?
Uh, yeah. I don't remember a lot of
Yeah,
conversation.
yeah,
Um, I don't know any French.
yeah. Okay,
Bonjour. You know, merci
yeah,
beaucoup. Like
yeah.
so that was sad. Um,
Okay.
I tried to learn it, but anyway, once I would ride either with USA people or possibly some French,
Yeah,
but I definitely was very considerate of
yeah. I
because I
get
know
you
I know how they do. You don't know who you if you don't know who you're riding with, you're kind of concerned about
completely.
that person.
Yeah,
So I understood that, and so I didn't ride with a whole lot of people that 87. Uh,
I get you.
yeah,
And I think you had multiple flats. Did you mention that to me?
I
And it
did.
rained a lot.
It
Yeah.
rained a lot, yeah, and then it gets cold, at night, and
Yeah.
but that second flat, that was that was like, oh my God, I flatted, and there's all these French vehicles, Renaults and Peugeots, and so this little car pulls up next to me, and and there's like this father and son, they jump out of the car
Yeah.
and they point, go sit over there, Tom,
Yeah.
go sit over
Yeah.
there. We'll change the tire for you, because they saw what I was doing and they knew what sew ups were. And
Amazing.
yeah,
Amazing.
and they
Yeah.
changed it and then they got going again. And I thought, okay, I can do this. Uh,
Yeah.
there was a bag drop about 200-mile marker, um, with spare tires for me.
Yeah.
And so I thought, if I can just get there, what's the worst thing that could happen anyway? If I had another flat tire, probably this guy with his son, they could
Yeah.
throw the bike in the back and
Yeah.
take me to the train or something.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
And it must have felt just so alien, the whole environment, did it to you or not?
Oh, you're definitely in a different world.
Yeah.
Yeah. And everybody looks like, normal people.
Yeah.
Well, the architecture, a lot of old buildings, a lot of stone buildings. Everything's old there,
Yeah.
right? And
Indeed.
and,
Yeah.
and just really a different um, environment. The roads were great. In
Yeah.
fact, all four times I've gone there,
Yeah.
um,
They're incredible.
the
Yeah.
roads are just fantastic. Yeah,
Amazing. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Any other memories about that very first one, 1987?
Um, let's see. So that was when I was young and fit, and you know, the hills really didn't bother me at all. I mean,
Yeah.
I could almost ride, eh, almost like 500 miles in 24 hours. I was really, really fit. I was 20 pounds lighter from now.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
but the one thing, after the flat tires, then with a couple hundred miles to go, it got foggy, and then I got scared. I didn't know where turns were, and the fog, thinking there might be cars, maybe they don't see me. Um,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I actually stopped in the middle of the night and I said I'm not going anywhere till daylight.
That's
So
smart. Yeah.
so
Smart.
so so so, so um, I still did really well, looking back, but
Yeah. Do
the
do
the
you
fog was something.
do do you remember? So you get to the finish line. We talked about that already, but did you feel like a month or two afterwards, back in the United States, that this had been some incredible event in your life?
For Well, for sure. I I'm just was really thrilled that I finished. I got my medal, uh, and uh, then I get busy doing other ri I've been riding bicycles, for 40 years. I mean, straight,
Yeah.
and there's always this next event, to do,
Yeah.
and but still, it really is amazing. I still have all the. I'm kind of a pack rat.
Okay.
You kind of can
Yeah.
see behind me.
Yeah.
I got shelves and shelves of
That's
old
good. Yeah.
race ride
Yes.
history. Yeah, and so no, definitely a memory, a great
That's
memory. Yeah,
that's wonderful.
yeah,
I always ask this at least one time, but like, just tell me about the people of France. Like, again, coming from the United States, you'd never travel abroad. There's probably a certain amount of, it's a subculture in America, but you go to a place that loves cyclists. Is that
yeah,
correct?
yeah. Yeah, they love cyclists. I never ever had any problems with any, even in Paris too. I mean,
Yeah,
people were polite. No, I never heard one honk of a horn, or never anybody who tried to brush you,
yeah,
and usually overly, you know, nice. It's
yeah.
like, no, you go ahead. And then
That's
they go,
funny.
you go ahead, and it's like,
Yeah, yeah,
wow, they're very nice people. And then during the event, everyone knows, you're trying to get it done. Most of the USA people had USA stuff on, like
yeah.
a hat or um, very few helmets too, by the way.
Okay.
If anybody was wearing helmets, usually it was the USA people. It wasn't the French
Yeah,
back in '87. And
yeah,
but anyway, all at the controls and all your videos, I think you hear the same thing. In the middle of the night, there's people with their
yeah,
alongside the road. They're all going, they're all clapping and they're going, oh, LA, LA, and Bravo,
yeah.
and yeah, stuff like that. Yeah, cool.
So in the many years you've been going, has that kind of support from the locals changed in any way?
I don't think so.
Okay, that's
Uh,
good. That's the answer I wanted to hear. Good.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah,
Cool. So then you finished the first one again in just under 69 hours.
yeah.
And then you didn't do PBP until 2015. I'm going to do my mathematics right now, which is 28 years. Okay.
Wow, yeah.
What were you doing with your lifetime?
Well, I was still bicycling.
Okay.
Yeah, I was working a lot. Um, a full-time job
Yeah.
in an office that I wanted to get out on the bicycle, right?
Yeah.
And so that was my big s- thing I like to do. And then
Oh, Tom, were you? Yeah.
my wife and
Sorry.
we would take trips, but she didn't want to have anything to do with the bicycle.
Okay.
No.
I get you. Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. But did you find yourself in those 28? Fine. Okay. Okay. But did you find yourself in those in the day? I would love to go back and
Uh,
do PBP.
no.
Yeah. Oh, really? That's funny. Okay.
Actually,
So,
no.
yeah.
What happened? In '87, I thought it was like one and done. I'm
Yeah.
done. And
Yeah.
and and then in about 2006 or seven, I started some old friends and even some new friends started talking about PBP, and I started thinking, I did that a long time ago. I wonder if
Yeah.
I could
Yeah.
go do that again. I wonder what that would be like. And
That's amazing.
so then I thought, okay, I'm going to do it. And 2015, the weather I thought was great, and
Yeah.
I was still pretty fit. Yeah,
Yeah. And you did that in 75 hours, which is amazing.
yeah,
Um, and tell me about that ride. How was it different? Because I'm sure it was different in many ways.
yeah. That one, so it was not with this big international randonneur group that was all organized and with like a tour.
Yeah.
Um, this was, I'm just gonna go do it, and I'll compare notes with some people, but
Yeah.
it's not. I can figure it out with the internet, and and
Yeah.
and and so I could see that. Yeah, I just gotta fly there. I just hop on the metro train in Paris. Um, I One of the guys was staying in Versailles, and that was close enough to the start at that time.
Yeah.
And and do the 84-hour group. I had some Arizona guys to meet there, so
Yeah.
we were meeting up a little bit with others, but I just figured, well, I've been doing this forever. I'm just gonna go challenge myself and
Yeah.
do it again. Yeah.
And any kind of things that stood out to you? Because I'm just reading a report here. It actually went very smoothly, it sounds like.
Yeah,
Okay.
it really did.
And like, was there any huge differences from the first time you had done it in 1987?
Just older, and then I realized there really are hills on the
Okay,
route.
that's funny.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay, that's funny.
yeah.
Those hills get bigger with age. Is that correct?
They
Okay. All right.
definitely get bigger.
Yeah.
I didn't even remember the hills, and then yeah, they're there. They're
Okay.
there.
So
Yeah.
so when you crossed that finish line the second time, you said to yourself, this is it. And that's two and done. Is that right? Or no? No.
I wasn't thinking about really doing it again. I'm not even sure. I think maybe I just needed another trip in 19
Yeah.
to, and don't really
Actually,
have.
but yeah, can I just ask you though, you
Yeah,
must have felt very good though after that 2015 finish
I
because,
did.
you know, it's kind of that bookends, not really bookends, but it's a huge span of your life.
I did.
Just a
Yeah,
feeling of accomplishment and all that kind of stuff.
yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
so then it went so well, you said, you know what, I'm going to do another one. So that was 2019.
I think what it was I had contact with a couple guys um, who we thought, okay, we'll ride together, and so to say that and then actually ride together, and
Yeah.
never you know lose sight of each other. That's different.
So
It,
true.
it's
Yeah.
so really hard to stay together, and
Yeah.
that's why that Alan and Deck, who I met in 23,
2023. Yeah. We'll
yeah,
talk about that definitely. Yeah.
those guys they stuck together. But
Yeah.
so I had a couple guys who were gonna go in 2019, and I thought, okay, well, we'll ride together.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't work out.
Yes, this one did not go smoothly, I think it's safe to
Yeah,
say. You want to tell
yeah,
me about what happened? And it was early on in the ride, too.
yeah. It was I don't know, 50. It was after Drew. It was after the first control, I think, like 50, 60 miles out, and I was um, in a pack of maybe 30 people, and I'm starting to get hungry.
Yeah.
Like 50, 60 miles, you start thinking you really need to eat before you get hungry. And so so I'm starting to eat. I'm in the back of the pack, just and just following the train, of
Yeah.
riders. And and then there was an accident up front. I don't know exactly what happened, but when things happen up front, there's like a domino effect.
Yeah.
And here I'm just eating and drinking, and then and it was a downhill, and then this like, okay, I didn't brake hard enough, or just shit happens sometimes.
Yeah.
And that the accident, I don't know what happened there, but so I ended up hitting the pavement. Um, and by the way, everybody hits the pavement at some point if you're a
Yeah.
bicyclist. You just don't want to break bones. And
Yeah.
and I don't fall very often. It's about
Yeah.
every 10 years maybe. But so I broke a collarbone,
Oh.
and I just thought I'm not going to try this. I can't. You know,
Did you instantly know you had injured yourself seriously?
I felt a pain in I think it was this shoulder. Uh,
Yeah.
so I've broken both collarbones, by the way. But
Yeah.
anyway, so I felt a pain, and then I thought, okay, I can't raise my arm. Okay, this is the problem. And so one of the motorcyclists that kind of follow the groups around, he asked if I wanted an ambulance, and because I had no idea really where I was,
Yeah.
and I wasn't going to ride back with a broken collarbone. And so I said, sure, get me an ambulance. And a little while later, this an ambulance comes up now, and this is kind of a story. Now, I've only told this story once to my wife, and
Okay.
she
Hopefully she's not going to watch this, is she?
I
Hopefully.
hope she doesn't watch this, but
Okay.
so there's these three really kind of good-looking brunettes um,
Okay.
jump out of the ambulance, and I said over here. No, anyway,
Yeah. Yeah.
anyway, they I think they were the weekend EMT,
Yeah.
because I don't know, they just seemed like this is too good to be true, really.
Yeah.
So they took me to the hospital.
Okay.
Um, they did ask where I was from. I said America. They said they all three of them said they wanted to go to Hollywood someday, and
That's funny.
I said, "Oh, Hollywood's close to Arizona."
That's funny.
But
Yeah.
that that was the end of that.
Yeah.
So I go to the hospital, and the first doctor didn't speak English. The second one did, and so I could say, it's a broken collarbone. You know, what can be done? And he took the X-ray, and he said, yeah, basically you just got to go home to USA and see your
Yeah.
own orthopedic
Oh,
surgeon. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. And tell me, once you got home, were you just very disappointed by the whole experience, or you kind of moved on?
Yeah, I just kind of figured that's bicycling racing,
Yeah.
and I thought, well, maybe I'll make it up, in the next year. And I did want to say something after the hospital. So you're in the hospital in Drew,
Yeah.
and then so they released me. There was no fee, no cost or anything. They said, you know, you're on your own now. Go. And so there was this Russian gal
Yeah.
who was in the accident also. She had a different ambulance, and so we looked at each other and we knew we were in the same predicament. How do you get back to Rambouillet,
Yeah.
so we so the one guy at the hospital says, I can take you to the train station. And so
Oh,
so so this was the first and hopefully the only time I've been on the train of shame,
yes.
for cyclists that you can't make it back. And
Yeah.
so it was me and this Russian gal, and we were communicating with our cell phones, our translators. It
Yeah.
was you couldn't do that in '87,
So true. So
and,
true.
and she was really pissed that she fell and her race was over, and
Yeah.
I'm just kind of like, well, it's just not our year,
I
and
get you.
so I just was, what do you do, you know?
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
yeah,
So then you said, I'm going to come back in 2023 and show PBP what's it about, right? So how did that one go? You're 4 years older, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. So
How old
yeah,
were you then? You would have
23,
been
man. What am I?
65. Would you have been 65? Is that right?
Let's see. Yeah, 65.
Okay. Okay.
Um, and again, I've been staying fit, uh, and it's all about being prepared as much as possible. Um, that'll be one of my tips.
Okay.
But so yeah, I stayed at the nice hotel, the better hotel, the one that actually has air conditioning, and
Nice. Okay.
the prior time there was no air.
Yeah.
Not all hotels have air conditioning.
Yeah.
And and so in 2023, things were going really well. I was riding with the groups, and you're seeing different nationalities, uh, and I'm I remember like in 2015 there were all kinds of nationalities, and I'd ride with their group, and it'd take me a while to figure out who
Mm.
they were, just by listening to them,
Yeah.
because they weren't English, they weren't USA, and so you
Mm.
could tell the Austrians and the UK guys, and then yeah, so it was just, I mean, it's an adventure,
It is. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, uh,
So were you feeling in any way that, okay, I'm 60, what did I say,
5,
66, 65?
yeah, yeah,
Did you think that, okay, that could be challenging or not really? You were confident because you'd done it before.
yeah. I think mostly just if you just keep it going and you don't do the rookie mistakes, which I ended up doing. Um,
Okay.
uh, and I knew I could do it because it's 'cause I still ride pretty well. Uh, it's just I have to just have the right lighting, the batteries, and as far as food, I've always just been able to just pretty much eat whatever uh, I want. And I didn't really ride with. I coordinated with some other guys,
Yeah, I get you,
and so I rode all the way out to Brest in like 34 hours,
which is amazing. That's
which is
incredible for
yeah,
anyone. Yeah.
yeah. And I thought, okay, I'm good. I got money in the bank. I'm doing well. I'm gonna take a nap. Well, actually, I went
Okay.
to a hotel.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
I went to a
Okay.
hotel
Living
for a class,
large.
living
Yeah.
large, and
Yeah.
you know, I, and so I just for like 4 hours went to McDonald's. There's McDonald's there,
Okay. Yeah.
and and then I started riding back, and so that was going well, and then one of my lights goes out, and then it's like, okay, so I have a spare, I have spares,
Yeah.
and so I'm riding along, and then I um, come to the next control, and then and I need to get to that bag drop. Uh, I wasn't there yet, and then so I waited a little while until it was day, and then I went to the bag drop, and then I didn't really have what I needed was not a charger, but a battery bank or what,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it wasn't working. Careful what you buy on the internet.
Completely true. Yeah.
And so I was kind of getting a little desperate there. So I went off road, and then in Fougere I actually got another hotel.
Okay.
And yeah, that was not planned at all. And but it was cold, and I just thought I'm only going to stop for a little while. You know how that goes.
Yeah.
Uh, and so I was there a little too long. And it started raining, and eventually I got going. But it was like my time was like not not enough
Yeah.
there. It was pretty tight. So I started riding harder, and eventually I caught up to the two
Irish guys. Yeah. So
guys.
Alan,
Yeah,
Alan
yeah,
and Declan. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
But at that time, Tom, you were already maybe
yeah.
behind. You weren't going to finish in 90.
No.
Can I just say, your thing about charging lights, it can happen to anyone. That
Yes.
happened to me actually in 2023. I had two lights, and one of them, for whatever reason, didn't work at all. And I
Okay.
had this little weak light, and it was so dangerous, right? Because it
Oh,
was dark, right? And I'm really surprised I didn't hit anything. So it's one of those, the thing about, I've never used a dynamo, for example,
yeah.
but that is
Right.
the beauty of those, that it kind of removes that chance. So
Yeah.
yeah, cool. Anyway, so you meet these
Uh,
two Irish guys, and actually, you know what? I'm going to read something here. I think you read it nicely in an email, and
yeah.
if I can find it here,
Yeah.
and I'm sure I can. They were both newbies in the game of randonneuring,
Yeah.
and hilarious self-deprecating guys,
Yeah.
and their bikes rattled, chains skipped,
Yeah.
and bikes squeaked. but they knew just to keep going, riding till the
Exactly.
very end, which is
Yeah.
so true. When I talked to Alan, that's exactly how it sounded like. So you meet these guys, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
They're
you're all beyond
hilarious.
the time. You're all beyond the time limit,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But you all know to keep going. That's
Yeah.
right. That's cool.
Yeah.
How long?
Yeah.
How many hours were you with them for? Do you remember?
Oh, it might have been 5 or 6 hours. Yeah. So,
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah. But the thing that was cool about them is they were together. It was like,
yeah,
um, good friends. Uh, so, um, that's what you want. You know.
yeah, yeah,
So,
definitely. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. But like at one point, one of the guys, he like disappeared, and I go, where's Dak?
yeah,
And then Alan, he says, well, I don't know. So so Alan, he circles back, and I think it was a flat tire or something.
yeah.
Their
Some
bike,
drama. Yeah,
yeah, and their bikes, you know, not the greatest, but really great guys though.
yeah.
Fun
I
guys.
think Alan described his bike as the worst bike at PBP, which is kind of funny.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was making noises,
yeah.
and yeah,
Yeah, like I always think it's funny because especially those last 10 hours of PBP, we're all kind of beaten up
uh,
and torn down. And
yeah,
to meet someone in that state is kind of funny,
yeah,
isn't it? Yeah,
yeah,
certainly.
yeah, yeah.
So do you guys remember crossing the line? I think you finished in 94 hours. They were 110 hours maybe or something like that.
Right.
Was it kind of saying, "Oh my God, I'm glad this is over," or did it feel like an accomplishment? It must have at that point.
I was glad to be home,
Yeah,
basically, and uh, I was glad those guys got it done too, and
yeah,
because they had never been anywhere near doing this kind of thing before,
yeah,
and so it was an accomplishment. We took pictures and it's too bad that there's this out of time. There's not more recognition for that.
completely. Yeah,
But, I mean, I understand like rules are rules, but these guys they were close. They were close to getting it
yeah,
done. They had their cards all stamped. I had my
yeah,
card stamped. I mean, we were pleading for people to stamp our card, at the controls,
yeah.
even though
But
some
yeah,
of the controls were closed. But we got them stamped, and it was like,
yeah.
we did it.
I think in some ways it's almost more of an accomplishment because once you know you can't make the time, it's so easy to psychologically say, "That's it, I'm going home," right?
Yeah,
But to
yeah,
finish, that's really impressive.
yeah.
Tom, anything else before I ask you about your plans for the future? Anything else on that last ride in 2023?
Let's see. I think that was,
Okay,
yeah, about it. Yeah, yeah,
cool.
yeah,
Okay, here's the million-dollar question.
yeah,
Will we see you in 2027 with Alan and Declan? I think we got to put the band back together.
yeah. That would be cool. I'd like that. Yeah, I hope so, and I'll be there. I'll be
Great.
there, and I'll be a little older, but I'm already thinking about it, and yeah, 2027. That'll be 40 years from
Amazing. Amazing.
87,
Yeah,
and there that's a big span. Yeah, yeah.
it is. Tell me, is there anything you're going to do different from the previous one?
Let's see. I would say, um, yeah, more pay attention to my charging, my battery charging. The lighting was good. Maybe just be sure I have a backup. In
Yeah,
87, all we had were these 6-volt batteries. We put them in our bottle cages,
yeah,
and it was old, really old
It's
technology.
crazy.
It did work,
Yeah.
but so there's the batteries, and then um, no, everything else went pretty. Oh, don't oversleep. I don't need two hotel rooms. You know,
Okay.
one
Yeah.
maybe one. Yeah,
Nice.
don't get the second one. Just
Okay.
keep going. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Well, that's great. Well, I'm sure I will see you there. It'll be a real pleasure. So we're
Good,
gonna end.
good.
Cool. We're gonna end, Tom, then with your three tips from someone who has great experience that guarantees a finish. Tip number one.
Yeah, guarantees. Tip number one. Yeah, be prepared. You know, ch- have a and there's different ways to do all this. You know, you can
Yeah.
have a schedule uh, um, of the ride. You know, for checkpoints and where you're gonna eat and so I would say, double check your bicycle, uh, and yeah, let's see. I would say the preparation. Yeah, that's the biggie. That so that's tip number one. See if I forgot.
Yeah.
Uh,
You wrote them down here. Feel free to have a look at your notes. So number one was planning.
if you're gonna nap, where do you do it? Some
Yeah.
people reserve rooms in advance.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, gosh.
Hmm.
So okay, so that's tip number one. Always know the clock is ticking, too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So be keep going. Yeah. Uh, so tip number two.
Yeah. Tip number two.
Okay, so the weather. The weather, it can be beautiful, when you start, and even the forecast could be beautiful, and it could be night, cool, light winds, sunny. Yeah, no one knows in 2 days what it's going to be doing. Usually, I think they do. You get some kind of rain, fog. There's probably going to be some headwinds. It's so be ready for carry a rain jacket. You know,
Yeah.
um, be ready for that cold when it comes in. Oops. Uh, so just don't think it's all um, going to be nice weather.
Cool.
It's not. When you get close to that ocean, it's gonna
Yeah.
get it's gonna get cold. It's gonna get windy.
Cool.
Yeah. So
Cool. That's tip number two, the
yeah,
weather.
yeah. And then number three, that's the easy one. This is why I keep coming back. Enjoy the ride. It's an adventure. There's always going to be unplanned things. Some really fun, nice things, great memories, and then there might be some unfortunate things too. And it's going to be fun because the people are there. In France, they're all. I've just in the 4 years I've just never had any issues with the French there. As long as you acknowledge them, try to speak French. Say
Yep.
bonjour to everybody, and they're just I don't know. I really liked France, and everyone's pretty nice there and
Cool.
very nice. Yeah.
Right. Great.
What do you
Cool.
say? Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, Tom, it's been a complete pleasure. Okay. Some excellent tips. I really appreciate it. And I really look forward to meeting you in 2 years' time we have now. Okay.
Definitely, Peter.